Hello guys, I want to welcome you all again to Engineering Trends and Innovation, where we explore the cutting edge of engineering and technologies that are shaping our future. I am your host, Alimami Louis Conte, and in today's episode, we have a guest that is basically going to explain to us about how engineering and technology is changing with the way we live. So to first start up, I would like to introduce you to my guest, whose name is Hamza Umar. Hamza is a founder of SphereHub, a startup that began by solving housing and roommate issues for students. But that's just the beginning. As a former international student who faced those same challenges, Hamza is building something much larger, a platform to support the full journey of students and young adults with transitioning into independent life. So actually, I was in class with Hamza where we did our master's program in mechanical engineering. So, but basically, he's also a mechanical engineer. So I would like you all to meet Hamza. Hi, Hamza.
Hey there, glad to be here.
So, Hamza, actually, this is a platform where we explore the cutting edge of engineering, and also we showcase technologies that are transforming our world and our communities. And we are not only showcasing the technologies, we are bringing the people and the process to let our audience know what they're expecting or what they're using, and with the people that are designing these technologies and the people that are creating the solution, and also let them walk us through the process. But because we are not only showcasing, we are educating as well. So I would like for you to just give my audience something about what is SphereHub and what inspired you to start a company like that.
Gotcha. Hello again. My name is Hamza Umar, founder and CEO of SphereHub. So when I was 17 years old, I moved to the U.S. as an international student. It was, obviously exciting time, but it came with a lot more challenges than I had initially thought. Immediately when I came here, I was like, okay, great. I'm going to this school. I don't know too much about it. My brother was going there already, but we both faced the issue of trying to find off-campus accommodation because the community college I ended up going to at the time didn't have off-campus or on-campus accommodation. We had to find roommates. We didn't know where the closest grocery store was. Our specific diet is we try to eat halal food, and we didn't know where we could get halal food, and we were just fish out of the water. And at the time, that's through those struggles we started to think to ourselves that, man, we wish there was a better system in place to help us with all of this. As I grew in my journey, I transferred to the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and the issues weren't just for a few international students. It was for all commuting students I could see. Everyone had similar issues, and some people could say, oh, it's part of life, whatever. But if there is a space, a way to improve it, why not do it? And for the longest time, I used to wish there was someone who could do it. And then one day I just decided to become that person. I said, all right, I'm going to do it. Why not?
Wow, that sounds really, really interesting that we had to go through with the process to be able to design with the technology or with the solution towards with the challenges that your fellow students were facing. And it is good. So I think that moves me to the second question, which will I want to know what was the first step that you took once you had the idea, and what did early with the validation looks like to you?
So when I first had the idea, I actually saw this idea competition, and I was like, oh, I've been thinking about this thing for a while. So I applied, and I forgot about the application, and it was not called SphereHub back then. It was called International Library. And I got into it, and I was like, whoa, I'm in this competition now. And I went and presented that I'm going to solve the issue with housing I'm going to solve the issue with not knowing local laws like student safety, and I'm going to help people build a community. And I didn't win anything. I was like fourth place and not top three. And what I learned from that is, even though I didn't get discouraged, I talked to some businessmen that I met at that competition, and I asked them like, how could I improve? They said, you're trying to solve too many problems. So if you're really trying to solve a problem, you got to find one specific thing, solve that first, and think about something else. And that drives the vision for SphereHub. So the year after that, I got into an accelerator with my university. I did another business competition. We ended up winning first place for that. But more importantly, when we got into the accelerator, before solving all these problems, we actually learned how early stage startups can solve these problems. And part of that is talking to our customers, talking to our users. So starting with students who had a lot of access to, I talked to them, my own experience, other international students, other commuter students, even students living on campus when it came to roommate compatibility. We interviewed them, we talked to them. And then at some point, when we understood the problem from the student point of view, the early validation that we needed after that was, will everyone else be interested in this? So with universities, it's kind of difficult because they have so many other things on their plate. Off-campus student housing might not be their biggest concern. So what I did is I just got in my car one day because I was really tired of trying to talk to people at universities. And I went to every property manager and every landlord I could find in the area. And I talked to them about it, and voila, there's problems on their end too. So every problem that I solved for students, you could see kind of a reflection with property managers for that too, whether it's lack of awareness, whether it's roommate compatibility, a student having a good experience and living in a property, which is the first issue that we're trying to solve. That being optimal is optimal for the other side of the coin, which is landlords and property managers as well.
Okay, okay. I think if I am thinking about my own experience as a student, also trying to basically you would navigate about housing issues, I think I would have wished that I had such a platform earlier that can help me to easily settle in, so I can be so much focused on my coursework and that. So, but the third question is that what does success look like for you personally and for SphereHub?
So you said personally
Yep.
first. For me, being part of a mission that can help people not go through the same pain that I did, that I've seen other students, other commuting students, whether it's international or graduate students or undergrad students from here. If we can improve that experience, for me personally and for SphereHub, that's success. If we can have an impact on that, there's nothing that's going to make me happier, because it's a dream I've had for a while. And if we can really make that positive impact on the world, then that's it.
Okay, that is really good, man. I really love that, and I am still really wishing that I was in school when such the platform should have been released out there, so I can maximize with the potential of that. So, but my fourth question is that what are the technologies you use to create the platform, and how did that integrate in our current situation on being attacked by scammers? But because I can give an example, when I was searching for a housing, I got a lot of scam calls from, let's say, from you, the landlord, on Zillow, on Facebook Market, on all housing with the platform. So, like, what security level or what technologies have you put in place to ensure that we are safe when we are searching out for our housing?
So the answer for that is twofold. One is, usually when people get scammed, when it comes to housing, it's people taking advantage of the panic they're in, that my college class is about to start in 5 days. I still don't have a place off campus.
Yep.
I don't know who I'm going to live with. I need to find anything I can get so I can really get in that headspace of actually trying to do well in school. That comes because they aren't captured early enough in their journey. From what we want to do, we want to find students way earlier in the journey, in which once they've been admitted to that school, once like they've accepted, we can get to them then that, hey, here's the educational tools that we're providing, what to look out for, because this information is out there. Don't just go and sign anything. Make sure you read through the lease. Make sure you don't just put a deposit online on some kind of link. So we want to provide them that information because awareness is key. So capturing them early on in that journey is super important. But other than that, there's other tools that we want to integrate in terms of ID verification, in terms of approving the listings with our admins on our platform, obviously staying within fair housing laws, and approving good listings that are legitimate for our audience, for our users. And it kind of goes both ways, in which these students, we're going to follow their journey and we're going to ask them about their experience on a certain property, even if it is not a scam, right? Even if they're living there. We want to make sure that their rights aren't abused, and vice versa, because students can also cause damage. We got to understand that we have to be fair in every situation. And we want to have a system in which they can leave reviews for the student or for the property, and with enough data, we can find out the truth that if it's a good place for students to be,
Definitely.
then great, they should go there. And if it's not, then they shouldn't go there.
Okay. I think that you are integrating with the student experience that will give, let's say, factual reviews based upon their experience, and then you will use your tools, your tech, basically your technology, and then how you can make it safe and also make it user friendly for maybe the students, basically. Okay, so how does your roommates with the matching algorithm work, and what makes it different from these other platform though?
So your generic roommate matching is you'll do a filter, what your ethnicity is, what kind of stuff, your general questions that, oh yeah, I like playing soccer and this and that. So these platforms do kind of exist, but we still have roommate conflicts. We actually have 1 in 3 college students have reported conflicts with roommates. So we know the current way has a problem. Using machine learning, we're trying to figure out, even if we start out with something basic. So last year, we interviewed over 25 students for more than an hour each, really understanding their roommate experience, and we're going to continue that. And we've broken down factors that we found from those interviews that really made a difference on their relationship with their roommate. Now, using those factors, what our machine learning is going to help us do is, with enough data, with enough users, we're going to get feedback in which, even though Hamza thought that Alimami and him would be good roommates because they both play soccer,
Yep.
Turns out we're not good roommates because of some other reason. Or we actually ended up being good roommates because of our sense of humor being similar. We want to find the secrets. It's kind of a journey for our tool as well. So over time, with changing trends, we can really figure out that for what worked for a batch of students 2 years ago might not work for the current generation of students.
Okay, that is really good. Actually, with the algorithm that you guys are using, it sounds super fascinating. But because it actually does not lies on codes only, it's when we basically lies on the user experience, user friendly experience that maybe will give let's say whatever user that is trying to use with your platform a first-hand human experience, not about using only artificial experience, which is good. So I want to know how did you approach with the universities, landlords, and students to understand their needs when you were doing your basically the pilot phase?
So we're doing our pilot this summer. For students, we've been talking to student organizations like on-campus clubs. And mind you, students are our early adopters. Property managers around universities are our early adopters, but we don't want to limit to just that. But again, we can't solve every problem in the world on day one. We want to build it step by step. In terms of approaching them, for property managers, as I said earlier, emails, LinkedIn messages, none of that worked. I literally got in my car and drove up to them. And that's part of the entrepreneurial experience. Like, you just gotta make it happen, you got to get out of the building sometimes.
Yeah, sure.
Every set of user or customer seems to have their own behaviors, and with universities, their needs might be a little different than someone off campus, trying to rent out, because someone off campus might want to get steady revenue, but universities might want to get higher enrollment and a better student experience, and they can end up getting better grades. So for each one of them, I've had to figure out, and this is something I've learned, from my mentors, for business mentors, personal mentors, that each person is unique, and if you figure out what their need is, it makes it way easier to understand how your platform can help them.
Okay, that is really good, man. I think I'm still wishing that I was in school when you basically you be developing this tool that I can feel comfortable and convenient to live with any type of roommate that I find, that I have to get through. I mean, with the SphereHub app, which will make my life so really comfortable. And if I can give some maybe the feedback or some experience, let's say I am in a room that I'm sharing a roommate with someone that is not, basically doesn't have a religious type of thing, that they smoke, they do some types of things that I am not really comfortable with. It makes my life sucks a lot. So, but with such app, I think you will be able to filter. Let's say if maybe someone basically drinks alcohol, someone smoke. So I think that is a really good experience. So how do you balance for both the landlord and the students? But because these are maybe the two actors.
Yeah. Well, I think the important thing is to not forget that we have to be fair to each one, right? And when I say that, it really means is that we know that a lot of times, especially international students, are in a very vulnerable position. They'll come in, they won't know anything about fair housing laws. They won't know anything about their rights. And it doesn't just apply to international students. It can apply to every student, because they're so new to life, new to practical life, moving out of their parents. They just don't know their rights. Now, it doesn't mean they have every right in the world. Landlords and property managers have rights of their own, and there's laws to be followed. You can't just go and break a lease and not expect a consequence, or lose your deposit if you put a hole in the ground. It's educational on both sides. We have resources in which, if a student is abused, we're going to direct them to be able to get legal help. But at the same time, when a student comes and uses our platform, we want to make them aware that, hey, you are responsible for your actions. We're doing our best to put you in a comfortable position, but this is a world for everyone, right? We have to be fair to everyone. So yeah, that's how I'm dealing with that.
Okay, yep. I think that that is actually a fair point, where we don't look only on maybe the one side of maybe the coin. You look at both sides of maybe the coin, that the student has their own rights, the landlords have their own right, which makes it a really, really good thing. But because I think that with the US is with the land of laws, where everyone try to abide to the rules and regulations, which actually make it a really, really good platform. Let me stress on that. Good platform. So I want to know, how are you approaching with the partnership with universities and student organization? But because I actually had a conversation with you, but the last time, that hey, you went to UMBC, you understand the livelihood of UMBC, but you don't understand the livelihood of, let's say, example, you be Towson University, you be Morgan State, you be the University, BU Balls. Basically, I want you to explain to audience, or explain to maybe the public, how do you think that you will approach such schools in terms of the partnership and collaboration?
So every school has different needs depending on the geography, right?
Yes.
If a school, and again, I don't want to be the decider on what a good or bad neighborhood is, but depending on what kind of neighborhoods around that school, it might have different challenges. Now, one thing is certain: every school needs off-campus housing, right? People Even if it's a commuter school, people don't want to drive sometimes an hour and a half just to get there. So we know that there's that need. We know that there's a current solution out there, but we also know enough to know that the current solution is broken, right? There's broken parts of it. Now, when it comes to partnering with different universities and different student organizations at those universities, our process is first to understand the geographical challenges of that particular place. Now, geographical challenges can be safety. Depending on the property class that's around campus, it is safe to walk out at night. What kind of social life is out there? These things matter to a university experience. We want to make sure we're great academically, but we want to also have a well-rounded experience. Every university wants that. When it comes to universities, if we can help improve that and more students want to be there, universities like a solution like that.
Yeah.
When it comes to students and student organizations, a lot of times I've found they're already helping people with off-campus housing. They're already making like mini communities, giving information, and there's, I would say, individual heroes, right? I call these people heroes because they're volunteering all their time to give this information. There's many of them that I've found. I'm like surprised they're not getting any kind of credit. And if we can help them, help these individual heroes and make their life easier, and who are helping in terms hundreds of other students easier, I think we can really be a good, a good actor in this ecosystem and making life easier for those students and improving their academic experience as well.
Wow, man, that is really good. To be honest, with you, with such experience that I got when I was doing with my grad school, it was a rough experience. But because I have to be commuting every day, I have a class, I have to commit for like 30 minutes, and we will be stuck in traffic. You will be stuck basically in line to get on campus on time. Sometimes I had to maybe miss class for that, or sometimes I just have to give up. But because I'm like, bro, I have drove like 30 minutes, and then I would go, it is like 15 minutes towards the end of the class. Then, damn it, I can go to class. I can just ask. But with such application, I think it can also improve the efficiency of maybe the students. That will makes them much more convenient to attend your classes and learn, and also be much more productive. So, Hamza, I want to thank you very much for being on engineering trends and innovation. And if you have anything else to say to the audience, I would like you to share it, and then I will wrap up on that.
Well, first I'd like to say thank you, Alimami, for having me on this great channel. I'm here to support you guys, and thank you for the exposure you guys gave me today. I will also say to anyone watching, we love feedback at SphereHub. So the power of network is insane. So any kind of help you guys can give us, or any kind of help that we can provide you in terms of solving this particular issue, just reach out to SphereHub app. And awesome. Thank you so much.
So I want to say special thank you, Hamza, for being in our platform, which is Engineering Trends and Innovation. And to all our audience, I want to thank you all for listening and watching. And please subscribe, follow, and like us on all social channels and platforms. We are Engineering Trends and Innovation, where we showcase the cutting edge of engineering and technologies that are shaping our future. So on today, the podcast, we want to end it here, and then we will bring a lot of CEOs, a lot of engineers, a lot of scientists, a lot of technologies that are changing or shaping our future. So stay tight, stay glued, and stay safe. Thank you very much. I am your host, Alimami Louis Conte.
Thank you.